This time on Shift Points, the old red truck goes to Patton Avenue. Alright, today is the day that Dad is taking the 55 truck up to Patton Avenue. You guys saw us put that up last week, or whenever that video goes, that went out. We've been working on this thing a lot. We didn't really get to video much yesterday just because we were kind of honestly thrashing to try and get it ready so nothing fell off of it when it went to Patton Avenue tonight. So I quickly kind of go over what all we did. We did get the hood on it. We had one of the shoulder bolts, the stock shoulder bolts, and then Dad made some, basically made some shoulder bolts, took some bolts and then made some spacers that went on them, kind of act as a shoulder bolt. So we got this put on and in place. Dad worked on this again last night to try and get it to make sure that it latched good. He had to do some adjustment on this pin here and this spring, along with the plate down here to get this to where it actually, that right there actually engages like it's supposed to keep the hood down. The other thing that we worked on, we actually kind of tuned on this thing a little bit. I hooked the HP tuners up to it. I had some stuff from years ago that we had bought from the tuning school, some notes and some books to kind of go through. So I started kind of doing the basics of this. Figured it was probably as good a time as any to start learning that a little. Just worked on the fuel trims a little, some very basic stuff to make sure this thing was running good, or running good enough at idle and at part throttle. So we worked on that for a little while. That took a bunch of driving back and forth. Like I said, I can't really share those books with you because they are kind of proprietary. You have to buy them, and I don't want to get in trouble. And so didn't show any of that really, just because, and honestly it was a lot of back and forth, so we didn't want to kind of bore you with it. Dad worked yesterday and this morning on getting these skirts fitted. So these fit really good now. And if you kind of just look at this, I think you would never know what we did, or what he did. So basically what happened was these did not fit at all. So because this fender is attached to the bed, when we raised this bed up, it raised the running board, it raised the fender, it kind of changed everything that happened in this little area here. And this was kind of the odd man out. So what he did is he took it and he just trimmed it, just cut it, kept that same angle, followed right along with the stock one, and then he was able just to get that to fit right back in place. So now basically if you weren't really paying attention, I don't think you would ever notice that this has been changed at all, and it's very solid. So we did that on both sides. I'll show you the other side of that too. So did this on the other side too. He said that he had took probably a little more than he needed to, but he wanted to come back and weld, kind of cut the other piece and then weld the front of this back in place like it's supposed to be. What else have we done? We got the running boards mounted up at least good enough for today. So this has 3 bolts in the back here, and then there's the 3 supports under these running boards. These are running at a good angle, I think, from what they need to be. This one was squeaking like crazy. Dad got a bolt put in it yesterday and it's stopped that squeaking. We did also get Dad did while I was gone. He got this tag bracket put in place and the farm truck tag that we got on it. It's kind of cool to see all this stuff kind of come together. We've done all these different pieces going along. It's pretty cool to see all of it kind of start to finally come together. So we got this put in place. We have a bumper, but we don't have any bumper mounts. So right now we're just going to leave the bumper off of it. I know this is kind of hideous, this tag mount, the bottom of it with the light, but when the bumper gets on here, it kind of hides all of this. So without the bumper, it looks pretty terrible, but once the bumper gets on here, it should hide all this, and it should really kind of help the looks of it in general. Let's see here, what else we do? We kind of just tidied up some stuff on the inside. We put the new door handles and the new window cranks on. So that's all pretty good now. Got these tightened up. Should be good. The splines are kind of wore out on the shaft that comes out of the door. So that's kind of a been a little bit of a hassle. This one comes out, specifically this knob tries to come off. Then on the inside, Dad also put the rear view mirror on, and everything else is just kind of tidied up in here. Here's our OBD2 port. He's got it zip tied up in place to keep it from falling out. That's where we hook up everything when we do our tuning and all that stuff, just like in your car now. Pretty much everything nowadays has OBD2. But a lot of stuff that we've done to kind of get ready for him to take it up to Patton Avenue tonight. So him and Mom are going to be up there at 4 o'clock, which I know this isn't going to go out today, so it doesn't really matter what time they're going to be out there. So everything really is good on this thing at this moment. It's running really well. Nothing too crazy. I really want to get an O2 sensor in this thing for our wideband at some point and just make sure that we're getting the right air-fuel ratios that we're supposed to be getting. But I think that will kind of, that's going to kind of be a thing a little later down the road. But this is in really good shape to go there tonight. So Mom and Dad are going to go there. They're going to do some filming and show you guys that. That's going to be basically the bulk of this video. So I wanted to show you what we'd got done to get this ready to go. And then the bulk of it's going to be them up on Patton, some of the stuff, some of the people that are there. Hopefully some people will be willing to kind of talk about their cars and stuff, and they'll want to film that. They're standing off camera, Mom and Dad are, so I hope they're listening to kind of what I hope that they can get while we're up there. So see you guys later. So I watched the videos that Dad did, Mom and Dad did, and Doug did at Patton Avenue, and realized that I probably need to give some people maybe that don't know what Patton Avenue is a little bit of a quick history lesson on it. Patton Avenue was kind of the place to go if you were into hot rods and cars in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Even me and my friends went to Patton Avenue some. We were kind of right at that end. Unfortunately, kind of the people that I grew up with and kind of people my age had kind of fell out of touch with it. I don't know if it was because of money or just a lack of interest different in generations or what that is, but we were kind of the last ones. We would go there sometimes on a Friday night, Saturday night, and hang out. But back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, an event like this deal at Patton Avenue that happened last Saturday was kind of unheard of, because it didn't have to be an event. It was just what you did. You went and you took your car that you'd worked on all week or whatever you'd done. If you'd done any modifications or things like that, you took it there and you hung out with your buddies, and and maybe the alleged street race went down every once in a while. This is just like one of those epicenters. Asheville used to be full of hot rods and racing, with New Asheville Speedway, guys like Banjo Matthews being right there in Asheville. Asheville was a kind of an epicenter for this hot rod culture. And Doug King, who organized this event, is kind of trying to revive this. So Doug is what I'm going to start calling, he's going to be the mayor of the Hot Rod Society here in Western North Carolina. Doug is just a really great dude. He knows more stories, and he's heard more stories than just about anybody. There's one little clip that you'll see later on. Doug I don't think he realized the camera was still on, and he's talking to some of his buddies. But I had to leave that in because it's what you hear. It's what I heard my whole life growing up. You hear these stories and you hear the people talk about other people that, were here on Saturday night, or stories that happened on Patton Avenue. I left that clip in because if you listen to that, that's really what, that's the kind of stuff you hear. You saw so-and-so in this particular car on a certain night, and you had to stop and speak to him, or you had to do this. And that's just the kind of guy that Doug is. He knows everybody, and he knows so many of these different cars, and he's just happy to see you, and he wants to see you out driving those things. So that's why I left that clip in. Yeah, when I watched it back and I showed Emily the clip, she said, this video is kind of sideways, right? Yeah, but it's not about the video, it's about what Doug's saying. So make sure you pay attention to that. So Doug, thank you so much for taking the camera and getting some of these interviews. He did a lot of it. Mom and Dad took a lot of the pictures of the shots of the cars. And then he went and kind of talked to some of these guys that he saw as pivotal. So thanks, Doug. We appreciate it. And stick around and watch what happened on Patton Avenue on Saturday.
I'm Tug King, live in Candler, old 55 Chevrolet. I helped get this thing started tonight. We're already having a fabulous turnout. It's 4 o'clock. I've had my old 55 Chevy for about 37 years, something like that.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Wesley. It's my wife Susie. We're just out and about in our '67 Camaro, riding up and down the road.
What year did you start cruising Patton Avenue?
I wish I could think back that far.
In the 70s.
Right.
It's back in the '70s. Been a long time.
Good to have you. It's all good. Tell us your name.
I'm Jeff Bowles. Been cruising Patton since about 1974. This is my '64 Chevy 2. I've got a '66 C10 truck, 56 Nomad, a 55 two-door post, and a 57 two-door hardtop. We're just out here trying to make this happen again, relive some old times.
Glad to have you. This is Paige Lancaster's 71 Olds Cutlass Supreme convertible. Paige used to be a regular out here on Patton Avenue on Friday and Saturday nights. Good old Irwin High School boy. Glad to have him out here.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Jim Meadows.
Jim, tell us about your car.
It's a 1969 Z28 Deluxe. It was built in '68. It's rare. I recognize this one. They love the X-codes.
Yeah. And what year did you first cruise Patton Avenue?
Probably 63 and 64.
Right.
I was 5 or 6 years old.
Glad to have you out here.
Thank you.
Tell us about your Chevy 2. Tell us your name.
Matt Evans.
Matt Evans.
It's a '66 postcard. I bought a car 2 years ago as just a roller, like just straight shells, all it was. Did a Mustang 2 front end underneath it, 9-inch, 4-link, full subframe connectors, LS1, 4L60 transmission, mini tubbed. I mean, just a fun little straightforward nitrous car.
Sweet little car. You look a little young. What was the first time you cruised Patton Avenue?
16.
16.
Yep.
How old are you now?
37.
37.
37. Somewhere around in there.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. We're glad you came out.
Yeah, man.
I hear Kenny Bridges was coming out tonight. Is this him?
I like to see old Kenny.
He's supposed to be coming. Debbie said, well, Debbie said you're going to tell him.
I like to see old Kenny. God, I ain't seen him in years.
God, I know. I seen him. He had his Camaro out one day. It's probably been 8 or 10 years ago. We're cruising down Smoky Park, and I told my wife, I said, I got to slow down. I said, I see a blue 68 Camaro. I said, I swear it looks like Kenny's. Damn, him and little Kenny didn't roll right up beside me. I said, man, this is unreal. Good to see you. Come here and tell us about your car.
69 Camaro, 468 big block, turbo 400 reverse body, and it's got a fabricated 9-inch 456 gear. Good old street car, man.
Beautiful car. Beautiful car. What year did you first cruise Patton Avenue, Dave?
Oh, probably 82. I know. Well, actually, my sister was 6 years older than me, so she let me cruise with her. So I was probably 12 years old.
Did we never drag you out when you were younger than that? Me and Keno and your brother? No.
Yeah, y'all were troublemakers.
Good to have you here, buddy. Whose truck?
That's mine.
Well, I thought it was. Okay. Here's another one of the David Cake collection. The David Cake collection. Tell us about your truck.
Well, I got that truck. I rode my boys around, Justin and Colt. I rode around that truck 31 years ago down here on Patton Avenue. Same truck, same stuff. We used to ride around all the time in there. Now they got their own car out here, but I've had it forever. It's part of the family.
This is Skull Garage. They're always working hard to keep the hot rod scene going. Dale Wilson and his boys. Glad y'all came, Dale.
Instead of running them stickers, we shot this one with real 45. Real bullet holes. And no decals for us.
Real bullet holes.
Yeah, what kind of man shoots a truck?
This right here is the legendary Ricky, Mr. also known as Turkey. He's got his memory of Wayne Davis. Turkey was one of Wayne's best friends. Turkey's always supporting us out here in the hot rod scene, and we're always glad to have him out here. What's your name?
Justin Wilson.
Justin Wilson.
Check us out, Skull Garage, YouTube.
Skull Garage on YouTube. This is the
fancy. Just big solid rollers, big heads, twin 78, 75s.
twin turbos, and he calls her fancy.
Oh, that's it.
Glad to have you guys.
Awesome.
Tell us your name and about your little Ford Galaxy here.
Oh my goodness, he got me on the camera. I'm in the witness protection program. We can't do that. You gotta ask him about it.
Witness protection.
Witness protection, yeah. You don't want to know what he did.
We got a Ford here with a pair of 4 barrels.
Nope.
Nope. Oh,
Fuel injected.
fuely. All right. Good. This is legendary Dennis Edwards' car. Don't see Dennis around. We got us an old school CJ7 here. Who's Jeep? How we doing, buddy? Oh, is that you, Reno?
It's me, buddy.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good looking Jeep. I seen it go by. I said, dang, I love that Jeep. All right, I got it working now. Jeff, tell us about your Mustang.
1984 Mustang GT convertible. Spent its life in here in North Carolina. Come out of town and country in Charlotte, North Carolina. Was a barn find.
Sir, what is your name? Tell us about your truck.
I can't tell you, man.
The legendary Leaf 80, folks.
I can't give that information out.
All right.
I can't give you that information.
All right, be that way. Yeah. Like the truck. Y'all gonna cruise?
Yeah, we'll make a line.
Larry Brown?
What do you know?
Tell us about your truck, Larry Brown.
My dad's old farm truck. All I done is took home and throwed a bunch of money.
There you go. Beautiful. 67 or 8?
Hey, 7.
Looks beautiful. Mr. Yoder. How are you doing, buddy?
Remember this car?
I do. Beautiful. Glad to have y'all out here. Tell us about your 68 Impala. What's your name? You want to tell us about your car? 68, right?
Yeah, 68, yeah. Drive a car, enjoy it, you know. I like all cars, so.
Good. Glad to have you out here, man. Try to revive the hot rod scene again.
Yeah, man.
And that is Patton Avenue. You know, that's like I said earlier, Dad laughed and said the thought of an event taking place on Patton Avenue, if you had told someone back in the 70s that you were going to have like a cruise-in or an event or a show, they would have just laughed at you, because that was life. That's just what you did. You went to Patton Avenue. I think that Doug is trying to work and get this set up to where it's maybe the first Saturday of each month, and if there's a 50% chance of rain, they'll move it to the second Saturday. So he's trying to revitalize this and kind of get it going again, and I would love it. I'm hoping that the next time we do it, I won't be at the racetrack, and I'll be able to come. But if Eugene calls, I guess I'll be spotting too. So that's just, you know, it's just what we do. So when we started doing this YouTube channel, we said we're gonna, you know, just basically record our life, the stuff that we would do if there was a camera there or not. And that's 100% what this is. You know, whether we're going to the racetrack and we're doing circle track stuff, if we're working on these old trucks and stuff, even if there wasn't a camera here, this is what we would do. We would go to Patton Avenue, we would go to these events, but it's really important to me, and it's really important to the rest of my family, to make sure that everyone is seeing this and knowing that whether you're my age or up to Dad's age, it doesn't matter. That the car scene is really alive and thriving, and there's a lot of people that are really loving to do it. So make sure you take your time and, you know, work on your old car, work on your old truck, get it going, take it to something like this. Shoot, even if there's not an event, just take it out and cruising, because I promise you, if you take something out that's unusual compared to what is there now, what modern production cars are now, you're going to get a lot of heads turning. You're going to get people waving at you. You're going to get people coming up to you and telling you that you had a parent or a grandparent that had a car like that, and that you have so many memories tied to a specific car or truck that looks like that. It's worth it, you know. So take that time, go and do that. Thanks everyone for joining Shift Points. Make sure to subscribe at the end here and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll see you guys next time.